I know. Joey's are funny. He's online, isn't he? Yeah. Is he gonna do all the motion stuff? It was like. He's doing. Probably not. We haven't had the paper. He's doing big day. Big. Is he gonna do that? I think you take turn. He'll be fine. He looks like he's not paying attention at all.
I'm listening.
Did you hear him? What did he said? I'm listening. He looks like he's at the library.
He wants us to think he's in the library. Are we ready? Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order, please. If you would stand for the pledge. And Missy, you want to do roll call?
Sure.
Libby?
Here. Ryan. He's on the.
Here.
Tanya? Here.
Here.
We have a quorum. Okay. I don't think we don't have any changes to the agenda tonight. So I'll need a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting as is.
Oh, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And we need a motion to approve the minutes from August 18th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from August 18th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So first up, we have old business. Council will consider the second reading of Ordinance 2025 AD, a rezone of 1 acre from residential 3.5 to community commercial at the northeast corner of Broadway and Ohio Street. Adam?
I'm sorry, is Adam talking? I can't hear anything he's saying.
He's not saying anything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I can only see you guys, so.
All right. We're going to share a screen here.
My fault.
All right. For the record, I'm Adam Zaklikowski, the town's planning and building director. So I won't go through this entire presentation since you're already somewhat familiar with it from when it went before you for first reading. This is the presentation that I gave to the Plan Commission, but there are a few items that I wanted to go over with you since you're being asked to make a final decision tonight. If you recall, in Indiana code, there's some evaluation criteria that you're asked to consider. So I wanted to provide you with that information. So the first element that's shown in Indiana code, and again, you can vary from it, but you're asked to consider it. So first one is the proposed rezone consistent with the comprehensive plan? And I would say yes. The adopted Town of Fortville 10-year comprehensive plan map for 2034, as amended earlier this year, designates these 4 parcels as suitable for commercial suburban land uses, and the zoning district of commercial community aligns with this intended land use. So if you can see here, this is a snapshot of the comprehensive plan, and the 4 parcels in question were shown to be anticipated for suburban commercial type of development. Second one is the rezone consistent with the current conditions or character of current structures on the property? I would say that's not applicable. There are no current structures on the parcels. Third one is it consistent with the most desirable use of land? I would say yes. These 4 lots have been vacant lots since their platting in 1953. The adopted comprehensive plan map sets forth the most desirable uses of land, and it is consistent with that commercial designation. And then the fourth one is it consistent with the conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction? I would say yes. There is no evidence to suggest that property values would be negatively impacted. Additionally, buffer yards and setbacks will need to be provided. So to the east, they'd have to provide a 25-foot buffer yard, which is a type 3, the most restrictive buffer yard. They'd have to have shrubs, trees, a fence, a mound, and a 15-foot setback. And then the last one is it consistent with responsible growth and development? I'd say yes. The highly traveled intersection is suitable for commercial development. Buffer yards and setbacks will need to be provided per the zoning ordinance to protect the residential areas nearby. The first reading was back on August 18th. And to be clear, a gas station, some folks are concerned about that potential use. It has not been proposed. If it's proposed in the future, a special exception is required from the Board of Zoning Appeals subject to a public hearing. There was a formal public hearing as required at the Plan Commission, and there were some residents that were concerned about that gas station use, even turning it into commercial, any commercial uses. And there was a petition that was provided by a remonstrator that you have in front of you. So what the Plan Commission did is they recommend that you approve the ordinance as is. And I wanted to bring this to your attention as an option that you have if you want to take it. In terms of the gas station use, if you felt that the gas station, any gas station should be prohibited on that property, you could require a zoning commitment from the petitioner to restrict out a gas station use that would run with the land. And therefore, lifting this commitment would require review by the Plan Commission and by the council and council approval, in addition to a special exception from the BZA. So that is a direction you could take if you wish. The Plan Commission, after some debate, did not opt to do that. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to address them. Thank you.
Any questions for Adam? Fritz? Maybe public comment?
I have something to say too, if there's no public comment first.
There you are. Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead first. That's fine.
I'd like to see it with a zoning commitment to where there's that prohibits the gas station. I'd like to see it come back to the council. If there is a gas station proposal, I'd like to see it come back to the council and the Planning Commission to get that approved, not just the BZA. That would be my 2 cents.
Thanks, Ryan. Joyce, come on up.
Okay. I agree with him. I have presented a petition with 41 signatures in person and 63 signatures online. 22 were not in Fortville, so a total of 82. Now, of the 82 people, 49 live right in the neighborhood, right where this land is, in Colonial Village, on Ohio Street, and on Broadway Street. Everyone I talked to is just really concerned about the gas station, also concerned about traffic, because we do have a traffic problem there. So representing these 82 people, I would like to ask the town council to put a restriction on this commercial zoning. Now, I realize that I have this whole big sheet of everything that could go in there, commercial, if anybody wants to read it. I mean, so much stuff can go in there, but I just think we're really concerned mostly about the gas station, and there's already one going in there. I'm not sure that would be the most desirable use of the land, like Adam said. And also, a gas station, I think, is going to hurt the property values of the people who have lived here. And like they said, nothing's been there since 1953. And, you know, if you put something in there, it is going to hurt the property values. There's no way it couldn't. So even though I understand that it will go before the BZA, but we went through that the last time, and there is a gas station already going on that corner. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Joyce.
And I am representing the 82 people, not just my.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to speak on that particular? Okay. I agree too. I mean, I think we probably should put the condition on there to not have a gas station there. I think that's the only reason why everybody signed a petition, really, is for that, not because they don't want it to be commercial, but
I mean,
And
I think it's reasonable that it's going to be some type of commercial, business in that property, since it hasn't been residential in all the years that it had the chance to be residential. But I could definitely understand why we wouldn't want another gas station on the opposite corner. So that's what I would be all for.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there is going to be a traffic light there once that gas station comes in. So there will be a traffic control there as long as that continues to develop, because it's been promised to do that. So there will be some traffic control there. So I'm looking for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve with the zoning commitment restricting the gas station for ordinance 2025-8D, the rezone from residential 3.5 to community commercial on the northeast corner of Broadway and Ohio. But again, with the zoning commitment restricting the gas station and making it come back to the BZA, the Planning Commission, as well as the council.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adam, will they rewrite the ordinance now? Is that what has to happen, or?
No, what happens is, you can go ahead and sign the ordinance as is. There'll have to be a separate document, just a one-page document in a typical format that would get recorded with the property. And I can put that together for the petitioner based on templates. And then once that's signed and recorded, then the rezone would be effective.
Okay. Okay. Moving on to new business. Council will hear rank promotion announcements with Fortville Police Department by Chief Patrick Bratton.
Good evening, everyone. We are proud to announce we're having several promotions within the department. I've got a little bit to say about everybody, but everybody that's getting promoted and the whole department's just worked hard as a whole. These people definitely stood out. Their dedication to the department's unmatched, and I appreciate every one of them. So I'm going to start with Officer Pruitt, if you don't mind coming up. Your wife. And what we normally do is we'll have a spouse or family member, they'll take off their old badge. We're basically retiring their old badge from officer or whatever the previous rank was and pinning on their new sergeant's badge. And then I'll present them a sergeant's badge. But while I'm doing that, Danielle, if you want to get started on that, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Officer Pruitt. He started his career in 2018 with IMPD. We hired him in 2022. Obviously, IMPD during that time frame was probably not the best department in a lot of people's eyes, just because they were having some political issues over there. So Officer Pruitt came out to us and we hired him. So he's always been one for training. He's very knowledgeable, but Officer Pruitt goes through and he'll pay for his own training out of his own pocket. He doesn't send a bunch of requests to me. He just says, "Hey, Chief, these are my days off. Can I pay for this training and go?" Sure, buddy, if you want to. So I really appreciate that. In 2024, he became a state certified academy instructor, and currently he holds specialties in emergency vehicle operations. He'll be getting certified as a state firearms instructor this fall. We've got him scheduled for those classes, and he's currently an EMT, which he paid his own way through. So he's one of 2 EMTs we have on the department, so they're dual trained. He recently has been trained as a SWAT support member after losing over how many pounds, Dustin? 85 pounds. So he's put in a lot of work to get where he wants to go, and he's working very hard to continue to do so. Officer Pruitt will be supervising B shift and will assist in scheduling all the department training. So if we could, please congratulate Officer Pruitt on his promotion. No, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Next, we have Detective Graffiti, if she doesn't mind. Oh, Dustin, here's for your duty uniform. Who's pinning you? Anybody? All right. All right, girls. You stab her, remember, she'll ground you later. All right, I'm gonna start on Detective Graffiti here. She started her career with the Marion County Sheriff's Office as a reserve deputy in 1999. She became a Fortville Reserve officer in April of 2014 until she got hired with the Indiana State Excise Police Department, where she went through the academy, and she worked from January 16 until she was hired with us in 2020 in April. She is a founding member of the Hancock County Child Advocacy Team. She sits on the board. She's a child first forensic interviewer. She takes care of all of our sex crimes, our juvenile crimes, and I can tell you it takes a special type of person to do those investigations. You have to have patience, you have to have understanding, you have to give a lot of care. And it really speaks to her person of how well she does that. She's been accredited many times through Zoe's Place, Child Advocacy Centers. The Child First Forensic Interviewing Company called me and said, "Hey, she's one of the best we've had." And currently she's supervising all our school resource officers out at Mount Vernon, and she has been since the beginning of the year. So she's been leading without rank and without the extra pay. But I really want to congratulate Sergeant Graffiti on her promotion. Thank you for doing such hard work and doing your job. Thank you. You guys don't mind? When you see it. Yes, I'm not flinging them to her. All right. Next, we have Sergeant Archer. whoever's pinning him wants to come up, which I think is his mother. He said, don't stab him. We know you can whip him, so it's okay. Sergeant Archer started his law enforcement career in 2012 with FPD as a reserve officer. He was hired full-time in April of 2015, so he's been with us over 10 years. Since 2016, he's been a state certified academy instructor. He currently holds specialties in physical tactics, ground combatives, stops instructor, standardized field sobriety. He's previously been a drug recognition expert, which is one of the very toughest courses law enforcement has to offer because you have to know all the effects of all the drugs, alcohol, all the combinations of what and how it affects everybody's body. He's been a sergeant with FPD since 2023. And in 2022, he completed a month-long police executive leadership academy called PELA, which is a big accomplishment. He's also our certified canine handler and supervises A shift with his partner, Oscar. Please congratulate Lieutenant Archer on his promotion. That being said, I want to thank all of them. They've all done a great job. I really appreciate all their hard work, their dedication to the department, the times they come in and do things when they don't even have to. A lot of them just pop in and say, hey, what can we help with? So thank you all. Appreciate it. And congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, they have to go back to work. So they gotta go change how they're.
Okay, up next, we have some reappointments to Council President will reappoint Sean Simmons to the Board of Zoning Appeals. I guess Sean's already decided he's going to stay.
Yeah, to be clear, he was recently on the board, I think since October of last year, and he was just filling out a term that was vacated.
Yeah.
So, and also to be clear, if you wanted to select somebody else, you certainly can, but.
They're not beating down the doors, so we'll take it. Next, we have reappoint Libby Wyatt to the Economic Development Commission. Do we need to take a vote on that since it's council? Yeah, okay. I'll make a motion to approve Libby Wyatt to continue on the Economic Development Commission.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Council President will reappoint Robert Holland to the Economic Development Commission. I'm assuming he's okay with that.
Yes,
Okay.
but again, to be clear, you don't have to choose him if
Yeah.
you don't want to.
Well, I figured he would be. Okay. So this is where we go into the public hearing here. So we need to, Ryan, do you want to handle that? We need to recess the regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to recess the regular meeting and open the public hearing to discuss the landmark park, build, operate, transfer proposal.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
You're looking at me, you what?
Who is it? Is it you? It's you, isn't it? You,
Okay, we did advertise for RFPs for the contractor to do the BOT for the parks. And they did come up with, what was it? I think 7 or 9 people had requested information on that. Reynolds Construction is who we've been working with, is actually the only one that submitted for this particular project. The committee consisting of Libby, Tanya, and Heath Luther looked over the RFPs and decided that they would definitely be the one for the job, or would be able to do a good job for the town on the park, on the project that has been described. With that being said, I don't know if Doug Tischbein is here with Reynolds, if you want to hear anything from him. But then as soon as this public hearing is over, then we'll sign a resolution to move forward. And then we've got a MOU in here that if you guys approve that as well, then I can sign that at a later date once we get the funding and stuff approved. That'll give them notice to proceed and start the work.
Okay.
Doug, did you want to add anything? Or okay.
Okay. So do we need to just make a motion then to,
Well, you'll need to go back to the regular council meeting
Oh,
before you make a
okay.
motion.
so we need a motion to close the public hearing?
If there's nobody from the public that's got any,
If anybody has public comment, yes, I forgot about that.
I second.
Did he say something?
Did we make a motion?
I haven't yet. I was waiting on public. I didn't know if there was a public comment.
There's nobody's coming up, Ryan.
All right. I'll make a motion to close the public meeting and reopen the council meeting, the regular council meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. So now we will consider the resolution 2025-9A awarding the Landmark Park BOT project to Reynolds Construction.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-9A awarding the Landmark Park BOT project to Reynolds Construction.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
and along with that, I know it doesn't spell it out here on the agenda, but if you don't mind approving the MOU and the notice to proceed form that's with us as well, and then I will sign it if you approve me to when we get the funding and everything, we're ready to move.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOV and notice to proceed with Reynolds Construction.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next up, we'll have a presentation from VNS Engineering regarding the regional lift station and associated contract. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Lou Safka with VS Engineering, and it's great to be back in front of you. Some of you may remember me from my days at Triad Associates. Effective February 1st, we were acquired by VS Engineering, and the president and CEO of our firm, Sanjay Patel, is here with me this evening. I think some of you know him. We've done a substantial amount of work for you guys over the years under the Triad name, and of course, you're doing the same with VS. I think a sizable multi-path trail project along some of the main streets with sidewalks and crosswalks and so forth. Also planning some other phases of that multi-path. But they're big in survey work, civil site engineering, and they acquired us for our prowess in inside the fence work, treatment plants, water and wastewater, as well as water towers, pump stations, that sort of thing. So we're really glad to be part of what we can offer you. I'm going to walk you through. I didn't know how this would translate on the screen, so I enclosed a little handout that has the map a little bit better for you. But if you scroll down to the south side of town, and if you're familiar enough with the town down by the school campus, that is an area that we're heading for some major growth, and we are presently already. But if you're familiar with the area, the school campus has grown, of course, and there are two lift stations that service that southern portion, and that waste from lift station 6 is pumped north through a 6-inch force main and drops into a 12-inch gravity sewer at 200. With Mount Vernon North and Byers Estates coming in, we've added another lift station down there. Currently has pumps capable of pumping 320 gallons a minute. But the intent is that it continues to build out. We're going to increase that pumping. And of course, then we've got future planning development of 200 plus acres to the north and east. And so basically what's happening is with the pumping of all this wastewater to the gravity sewer, it's fed to lift station 5, which we call the church lift station. From there, it's pumped to a 12-inch gravity sewer that meanders up to the west and basically through the old town before it hits a major interceptor to hit the plant. The issue that we have is soon we're going to overload that system. We're already overworking that lift station at Church Street, but as we continue to grow in other places, we're going to start seeing some overloading of the sanitary sewer system in what I consider the old town in the interceptor going to the wastewater plant. So to that end, we've been working with Joe on the heels of our master planning that we did. We'd always planned for a regional lift station to basically pick up flow from the developing areas to the south and pump it west and thence north on a direct route to the wastewater treatment plant. So we no longer will have that overflow problem going to the north. So the project scope here and the second handout that you have, but I can still walk through the one that's on the screen, is the intent is to construct a new regional lift station on property. It's a 1.12 acre site owned by the Christian Church presently, adjacent to the creek there, and then run a force main west along 925 and up 300 and connect into a 12-inch gravity sewer that exists under the railroad and the highway. We've included a 500-foot segment of gravity sewer in the event that some of that ground to the east and west of that particular area develops and we can gravity sewer into that. Eventually, when things continue to grow, that 12-inch sewer will no longer be able to take all the flow from this lift station, but that's for another day. And we're going to play that by ear as things develop. Hopefully I'll still be around when that happens. But eventually when that does come to pass, we'll disconnect that force main from the gravity and run a straight line of force main directly to the wastewater treatment plant. But that isn't necessary at this point in time. And then also, one of the things that we are going to do in order to offload the force mains from that 12-inch sewer, we're going to construct about 1,200 feet of 21-inch deep gravity sewer east out of that lift station to the intersection of 200 and 900 or 925. And that'll be a very deep segment of gravity sewer, and that'll be designed to be able to pick up development to the east and west along that corridor. Okay. Last page of the handout, of course, is the cost estimate. I'm sure as you are that we're all aghast at prices that we see these days. I certainly have. It just seemed like yesterday I could knock these out without calling, but I've contacted pump suppliers, contractors to get pricing on all of these items. And today then I did hear, based on the location we've talked about there at that Christian Church property, that we do have 3-phase service along that route. So that's a very good thing. I didn't know that until 4:30 today. So the cost estimate is inclusive of all the services, the deep lift station, the pump package, the pipes, the labor, the standby generator system, basically all the site work that goes along with it, the section of 12-inch gravity and force main, creek crossing, the gravity sewer, the deep gravity sewer, and so forth. And then we added a 10% contingency to the construction estimate. And then there are soft costs involved. But we're going to need easements. We're going to need easements for the deep gravity sewer. We're going to need easements for the force main that traverses west and then to the north. We have included cost for easement acquisition right away. There's going to be a lot of survey work right away, engineering, easement writing, title research on those properties, temporary and permanent staking for easements that we'll need while we're under construction, and then permanent easements going forward. There's an allocation for some dollars in there for the actual cost of paying for those easements as well. The only thing this estimate doesn't include is the cost of the actual lift station purchase price of the property. And that'll have to be negotiated, of course, as we move forward. The price of land is obviously very expensive these days, as you guys all know. We do have a history of when that parcel sold, changed hands in 2012, I do believe, from an individual owner to the church. And so we know what that was, but that's several years ago. So I've also prepared an engineering services agreement for us to provide all the engineering services necessary to get to this phase of the work. It includes the survey work necessary, all the easement work that is necessary. And Joe and I discussed possibly leaving that particular part out of it for now, but I think we need to establish what those are and start that process so we can firm up the design and the plans accordingly going forward. So I think it's a good thing to do. On this one, we're basically going to get it to design, prepare plans, specifications, bid documents, get it permitted, and put it out for bid. Now, one thing we'll do, we'll work on the timing of this in terms of working with you and your financial advisor and so forth to make sure that we have the money in place so that we don't take bids too early and wear out our welcome in terms of bid hold time going forward. So I prepared an engineering services agreement. I had sent it up previously to Joe. Alex, I believe it. As customary, I bring the original with me so that it can be executed. With me and your records. There is a place for Tanya to sign, a place to be attested by the clerk treasurer. Included are those that are included in this budget, of course, in terms of the full scope of work and our fees. Again, basically all the engineering work that's necessary to do this project, as alluded to in the exhibits in my explanation here. Right-of-way engineering, plan specs, bid documents, taking it through bidding, advertisement for bid as customarily that we have done in the past. And of course, our fee is that there's $90,000 allocated for the field survey work, the easement prep, T&E reports, right-of-way engineering, staking, temporary easements, and permanent easements. That's about $11,000 per parcel, for a total of $77,000. And then the plan specs, permitting, bidding is $185 for a sum total of $352,000.
Okay. If I could add, we do have the uniform service agreement in place already with VS. The project that Lou's describing, the estimate's going to be a little over $3.5 million. And to put your mind at ease a little bit, all these new developments with the capacity fees that they're paying is going to be able to cover the cost with the funds that we've got on hand already from some of the connection fees. So we won't be looking at any rate increases or bonds or anything for this. So we should be able to fund this going forward. Lou, while this maps up, if you don't mind, can you explain kind of that gravity line that goes to 200, how far to the east it will serve? I mean, will that serve all the way to the end of our sewer district? Or
yes, you have a territory that was agreed to when Nine Star Connect decided to get into the water and wastewater business. And our territory actually goes all the way out past Meridian Road.
50 east.
Yeah, 50 east. And then we go to the west to 400 west. And so what we tried to do is you can see that the area in the blue, purplish blue, you see a stream to the north and to the south. You're kind of broken up in that manner as you traverse to the south of your town. And that kind of breaks up these areas into what we call zones, sewer zones. And that's why you have a number of lift stations to the south, because they're in different zones. But what we wanted to try to pick up was all the acreage between those creeks and somewhat to the north as we traverse to the east to that 50 to be able to pick up all that acreage that's out there. And in so doing, we also set a depth of that 21-inch gravity sewer to a depth that we'll be able to accept sewers in the future to accept that growth.
Another thing this will do for us is with the South Madison Boulevard and the apartments and everything that's coming in with that project. It's going to free up capacity in our existing system to make it a little more acceptable, I guess, where it'll be able to take it.
Yeah, that's a very good point that I failed to mention earlier. You know, by taking this flow off that goes through town, you'll have the ability then to grow in the areas that will naturally flow through that area, of course. Timing. I know that was one that was brought up. We have a pretty formidable surveying team at the firm and they're busy. If I put the order in tomorrow, they're probably looking at about 5 weeks out. However, that's a good thing because if you drive along 925, there's a lot of corn in the ground and it's still very green. So probably come sometime mid to the end of November, that should be gone. And that's probably a better time for us to get out and have boots on the ground and survey, stake. And also we're going to have soil borings done at the lift station site. So all that can be accomplished after that window of time that we won't be available. So I see this, if we move earnestly, we probably, you know, aside from getting the final item permit, we could probably bid it in May, early May.
What's the construction timeline look like once it starts?
Construction time's an animal because the actual construction work, once they would get started, probably would take 6 months or better. It's the delivery of the materials that are always the hang up. And in this case, the pumps are quite large. We're talking about a 2,200 gallon per minute pump station. So we try to get the pumps ordered, and that might be something we might consider is issuing a PO or an RFQ for the pump equipment outside of the construction bid and issue a PO for that equipment earlier so that we're ahead of that curve a little bit, because that's going to be probably the holdup.
Okay.
Thoughts or questions?
So how long do you think this will sustain us then? Guess it depends on growth, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Well, I want to add too that one of the annexations that we're looking at is the acreage south of 234 on 200. The property owner out there is looking to extend water and sewer. So we'll be coming back probably with some sort of an agreement with them to help them recoup some of their costs for installing this larger sewer and water down that direction. But that's going to open it up to a lot of the property south of 234. And I know we've had some developers looking at some of that property down there and been talking to some of the property owners. So there's a good potential that we're going to need it sooner rather than later.
Well, the other part, Joe, and I don't know if we have the freedom to mention this, but what we call 96th Street Extended, there is some activity there in that triangle property that you have there. And if that does go and gets built out where his cursor is on the screen, that's also going to flow across Garden Street to Shaw. So that's going to be an element involved in all of this as well.
To what point can we continue to do this before we need to build a new plant, new location?
Presently, I think the last time I looked at your MROs was probably 2 months ago. You're pumping it about 620 to 630,000 gallons a day for a 950,000 gallon per day average plant. So you've got some life left. We're going to keep an eye on it, and we're going to, as we get closer to that 80% probably capacity level, we need to start talking, because we know you own ground to the south of the treatment plant site. You're getting pretty locked in where you're at presently, and I think there's a little bit room for one more expansion around that particular site before we would move to the southern half of that property. And I think that's one of the things we had looked at in the master planning.
So you think we're gonna be good to have only the one plant in that location without building another one south?
That's a
I'm
good
putting you on the
question.
spot, you know?
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot, and it's one that we've talked about for quite some time. You know, your growth is going to occur to the south of the main old part of town, as I consider it. And so at one point in the master planning, we had looked at possibly a second site for a second wastewater treatment plant, rather than just using a lot of power and energy to pump it all to the north. And, you know, there's a lot of residential surrounding the existing wastewater plant. So obviously, the bigger we get, the more difficult that can be. So that's something that Joe and I have talked about quite frequently in the last couple of years, about possibly identifying where that might be, so that our longer term planning starts having eyeballs in that direction, rather than spending money from this point forward.
Okay, so any more questions? Any public comment? Come on up, Mike.
Yes, if in the event that that acreage gets annexed and you want to hook into the sanitary sewer system, there's a capacity fee that you would pay to the town based on ordinance at the time. And then basically, depending upon how the sanitary sewer is run at the time. Now, as the exhibit shows, there's a yellow line that represents gravity sewer. If you live along those corridors, you could certainly tie into the sewer. Yeah, it would include those homes that are through there, that corridor. Of course, it would, and size for future development in that area. It's hard to give you an answer in terms of cost. I know that historically, individual homeowners are required to pay for a contractor to install it from your home out to the street or the edge of right of way where that is. And that's a function of how deep your front yard is, and closing out your existing septic system and so forth. But in terms of, if we were to identify a project specifically to give you sanitary sewer service, oftentimes there's something done where those folks that want to hook on and there's a sewer extended for it, you break that cost up among the number of homes to hook on. We're a long way from anything like that. To be honest, I'm, if I were a betting guy, based on being in this business as long as I have, that it would be a development that would probably cause a line to be extended to get service to you. Yeah. Yeah.
And to answer your question about the annexation, I think it's getting harder and harder to do any forced annexation. So we've kind of taken the stance, if it's not 100% voluntary, we're not forcing anybody to annex in or going for that battle any longer. Today's rate to connect to the sewer is $3,400. That's always subject to change, just depends on the time and, you know, the need, I guess, that we're looking at.
So do we need a motion here to approve the agreement or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with VS Engineering.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. You want me to sign all these copies?
Just two.
Okay. I had 3 here because we had one too, so I didn't know if I had to, you know, I'm gonna date it. See, today is September 4th, 2nd. I'm already ahead of the game here. I'm not sure. Thank you. I don't know if I have to sign this one, but I'm gonna sign it anyway. Okay. Next up, we have council to review and consider bids for 2 service trucks for the street and utilities department.
Okay, if you remember at the last council meeting, I was letting you know that Brian was getting quotes on new pickup trucks. One is a rigger pickup truck, but it is a 1-ton diesel with a plow, all the strobes. The other, the utility truck, has got the utility bed. Of course, it's four-wheel drive, the diesel, the plow, and all that good stuff on it. The rigger pickup truck, O'Brien had the low bid at $66,346. And Tom Wood had the low bid on the utility truck at $76,796.25. There's quite a range between the high bid and the low bid on those trucks, but I really like the idea that, you know, we do get municipal discounts on these vehicles, and if I could buy a personal truck for this price, I'd be all over it. Yeah, exactly.
So we need a motion?
Do we need a motion?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the $66,346 and $76,796.25 for the 2 street utilities trucks.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That will help us out, as I know this is a dirty word, but when the snow starts flying, we'll have more more plow trucks to be able to get out on the road to try to get them opened up quicker.
Okay, so that takes us to department, Joe.
Yeah, I was actually kind of leading into my next thing here. I don't have much this evening. I do want to let you know that we did just lose another one of our street and utility workers, Dayton Stiegel. He came to us from NDOT, has been a great worker, enjoyed working with him. He decided he needed more money, so he's gone to find a position. He's already found a position making substantially more than what we were able to pay him. So hate to lose him, but another one of those reasons why, as we're looking at our salary ordinances. And I will say that in the next 5 years, we're going to have a lot of us starting to rotate out, and we're going to lose a lot of the institutional knowledge that we've got. So getting some of these young folks in here, get them experience, get them some training and know where things are at in the ground and how to fix them, I think is pretty crucial. So as we get these folks, and I really like to be able to hang on to them. The next topic I've got is just the paving. As you know, the community crossing is a Timber Ridge subdivision. All the paving is completed out there. There's a little more sidewalk work to be done. They will be back out there Thursday to finish up all the sidewalks and curbs within that subdivision. The additional paving that you approved for at the last meeting for the change order is the paving on Maple Street and then the alley behind Napa. They started that today. I was hoping they'd get it completed, but it's looking like it'll be all done tomorrow. And then again, as soon as they get that done, they'll be starting in on the other sidewalks around the community. And I think with the funding, I want to estimate 1,400 feet of 4-foot walk that we could replace. If it's, of course, 8 foot, we're not going to get that much, but it's just a ballpark on how much more we might be able to knock out. And with that, that's all I've got, unless you've got something for me.
Okay, next up we have Adam.
Nothing for me tonight unless you have any questions on anything.
I do not. Keith?
Just Two very quick items tonight. First one is the basketball hoops are out of powder coating. I received an email that the old ones will be taken down and the new ones will be put up on Friday. So just be aware that you might get a couple of phone calls this weekend if they get my guess is the backboards are super heavy, that they're going to set those poles without the backboards on it, and then they'll come back in first part of next week and put the backboards on it once the concrete's done. So if we get any calls about there not being basketball hoops, that is why. So after this weekend, we should have a better idea. Last thing I have, as with Summerfest, I want to give a shout out to the Cammy's Cause crew, Jared Heiner and all his people. Park looked great after their events. No complaints on our end. Doesn't sound like you had much for us as well. And it sounds like they had a really good event and raised some good money. So I just wanted to say thank you to the Cammy's Cross crew officially to taking care of the park and doing great things. So that's all I've got, unless anybody's got any questions for me.
I do not.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Chief?
I just got one thing. Saturday evening, a vehicle drove through the pylons down by the wine garage and onto the patio area. It's determined basically the gentleman had a Dora cup that he was going out to his car and filling up out of his car and walking around with his Dora cup. He was arrested, leaving the scene of an accident. And the street department changed out the pylons right away. But we are getting, Jones getting quotes to get that replacement that we had laid back. And that will be filed under that case for restitution via court order. So,
We rolled up right after that happened.
yeah.
We saw that.
FEMA.
No, we were looking for him, no.
No, fortunately,
Yeah.
Wine Garage has really good cameras with audio.
Good.
So it's really hard not to miss it. But people, please be observant because 2 minutes prior, there were people sitting at the picnic table that this truck smashed. So that's all I have on that. Other than that,
Picnic table get.
no, just the pylon, and it did its job.
Saw
Yes,
it
it did.
down.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it definitely did its job. It stopped the truck because he was burning tires down towards it, and then it got stopped quickly.
Glad nobody was hurt. Alex, you have anything for us?
I don't, but Missy just gave me the look that you skipped her.
Missy, I did skip her. You go last? Okay. Well, actually, it doesn't matter, but yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, we have any more public comment from anyone, please? No.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Sharon Beatson, and I'm here on behalf of FAI to ask the town if they will permit us to go and put Christmas trees in the alley again this year and decorate and possibly go into the patio because we have a lot of interest in putting up a tree for advertising of different businesses here in town. So I'm asking permission for us to do that.
And here, I thought I was saying something dirty by talking about snow.
She's really doing it now. We're just done. Yeah, well, it'll snow in October.
I'm sure Britt would like something on his parking lot and partners might like trees on their parking lot. You're good? You don't want to? Dairy Queen has nothing. Might as well put something on their parking lot. No?
Oh, if you
Put on Main
supply
Street.
electricity for them, we'll sell them, all right?
Solar. So-
No. Not real.
I know.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Everybody
I'm
else okay?
with it. Will somebody decorate the tree that I sponsor?
Oh. Yeah, I think it looks really nice.
Is
It's
it
a good
okay?
thing. Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
We're going to start, would you like to have some dates of when it's going to happen or does it not make any?
Sure.
Okay, well, November, the week of Thanksgiving, it's going to start. That's the 22nd, I believe. And then the deadline for decorating for everyone is December the 4th. And then the Winter Festival is December the 6th. So we're in line with everybody to have enough time to decorate the trees and get them all lit up and look gorgeous and get ready for the holiday.
I'm excited.
Does that sound okay?
Yep,
Good.
sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Ho, ho.
Who says? Who said?
Hi.
Stacy with Fortville Business Association, and Libby would like for me to share the events of Pink Elephant Days. On Thursday, we're going to have a private party at Taxman celebrating Elatini and have a martini contest with food. So it's a ticketed event, and we have started selling tickets, and we've got bartenders signing up to compete. Friday, we're trying to do a history tour, kind of spanning from the Carnegie Library down to the Elephant, that people can just do on their own. They'll pick up maps, be able to walk around, there'll be clues, and then they'll have a QR code that takes them to a bit of history about Fortville. So if anybody has anything really cool they can share with us, that would be great. We came up with a few places, but we'd like to have at least 10 stops that they can go to and get information about the town. And then, oh yeah, and the Elephant is getting moved to a new trailer on Thursday, and there'll be pizza and all the party will be down there. Yeah. Garner's just picking that baby up, putting her on a new trailer. There's gonna be pizza, drinks, everything down at Elite, and there's gonna be things at the ice cream shop too, TBD still. Saturday, we're trying to get some carnival things going on, to have stuff going maybe in the alley. We're not closing any streets for anything. We'll bring in some portalets to help with the bathroom, and we're trying to find somebody who will do some directing traffic at Main and Broadway to make sure people are safe crossing over and going to the Elephant and back. So we're wrapping up those details here in the next couple of days. And then Winterfest, we have a meeting on Thursday to kind of define what we're going to do for Winterfest. So we'll be able to share that with you at the next meeting, because that we will have some street closures for. And probably just a few little events along the way to bring people to town, but nothing crazy. And I'll always make sure I make the police chief aware when extra people are coming, and we strongly discourage refilling your Dora cup in the parking lot. You know, the one and done kind of thing.
Mhm.
So we always make sure you're in the loop of all of that, and also the fire department as well. So if you need anything, you know where to find me.
So Stacy has a brain that I can understand. Like, she doesn't stop thinking. She's super creative. And this Pink Elephant Days was created before September because, does everybody know Fortville became a town in September of 1865? So
Details.
details. Yeah. So that's why there's a history of it. And she's incorporated Ray and the Pink Elephant into this. So it should be a fun event. Get your tickets, dress
Come
in
out.
pink. You don't have to live in Fortville, guys.
Yeah.
You
But
can come to
and
this
party with
pink
us.
martini party.
Yeah,
It'll be
there's
fun.
a competition too for the guests that come. They get a vote for all the martinis, but they also will have a competition for the best dress. So the most obnoxious pink you can come in, or
I just bought my dress
jungle
today.
fever. We don't care. Like whatever it is, safari clothes, whatever.
Yeah.
So we just want to make it fun and keep these small town kind of more Hallmark oriented events, because we don't want, we're not fishers.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Right? I don't want you to be fishers because there's no town there. So.
Yeah.
Am I good?
You're
good. Thank you.
for sharing.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Council comp. You got me?
Well, I'm sure everyone, you guys go home at night and go, what does Libby do during the day? I serve on our Recycle Hancock County board. It's a thrilling board. But we're going to have a collection event if anybody wants to recycle. Sorry if you're not in town. This was one you can't participate in, guys. But hazardous waste, electronics, document shredding, tires, and latex paint. If you'd like a little flyer, right here you go. It's a very important thing. Recycle. That's it. Oh, it's September 27th. It's my mom's birthday, in case anybody else wants it. Excellent. Thank you.
Brian, you have anything?
Nothing from me.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. I need a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:34.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming.